Recording is on. Hi, everyone. Today is December the 9th. You have joined the Kubeflow Model Registry bi-weekly call. As a reminder for everybody in presence, this meeting is being recorded and this meeting adheres to the CNCF Code of Conducts. For the one that are looking for this recording, I just want to remember that we have a playlist on the YouTube Kubeflow community YouTube that you can find all the previous recording. This is also a great call out to some of the nice demos that the dashboard team have done in the past. So you're free to look it up there. So for today's, we have just some follow-up for Model Registry 1.10 from the release meeting. I think that Milos, thank you for your presence there. Do you wanted to add something here as a liaisons?
Just one thing that I think was mentioned on the community call last week regarding documentation. So we have to be careful and make sure that we have all those things in place. So all documentation. This is like really important, right? Because anybody who wants to try will just need to go through it and understand and how to install and how to use it. Regarding third party, or how to say, like the end user, I have one project here in my company that's gonna use it. It's kind of unofficial, kind of hidden, because it's, as I said, a big company. We have some kind of rules and what technologies can be used, etc. But I will also have the feedback on that soon. So yeah, we'll start with that. But yeah, as I said, like documentation is a pretty important thing.
Thank you so much, actually, Milos, for the update and for both. Just to make some little more details about the documentation, the release team is acting as the docs. So what they've been asking is that, just for everybody to know, what they've been asking is that the documentation shall be updated 1 week before the code freeze. Here, my suggestion would be to say, let's do the thing that we've been doing so far, which is keeping the documentation on the website updates on ourselves without relying too much on the docs team, which actually is not present at this moment. And so it's kind of like an additional workload for the list team. So my suggestion is let's continue to keep the website updated so that we have the documentation in place whenever needed. But thank you, Milos, for calling out to that one. Very important. Just as a reminder, the code freeze is January 20 next year, and then so it means that around January 13, we should have any content that we wish for the docs to be updated. But indeed, since we are a component that sort of like it's maintaining that one, I think that we can progress directly there. And thank you also, Milos, for sort of like unofficially beta testing the Model Registry with some end users, please. Let us know any feedback that they may have over there. All right. I assume that, Milos, is there any other points that you wanted to add, or this conclude, I guess, for the 1.10?
Well, maybe just an additional thing. I was thinking also what is important for, let's say, my company is like PepsiCo. It's not like IT company. It's like producing like all the stuff like soda, etc. And in this kind of company, it's very important to kind of write some kind of like testimonials or kind of use cases so that other companies can see and then make decisions. So decisions are made on that. Like it's really easy. It's easy. It's much easier to switch to some, let's say, from one technology to another technology. If you say, hey, the other ones are using that, it's successful, it's good, because, and others are using it as well, and then you can show some kind of a testimonial or blog post or something like that. So I think for Model Registry, it will be very beneficial if we can create something like that, I can do my best to do it like from like the PepsiCo point of view. But if you know anybody else who's using and who's willing to write something, I think that's very useful, very useful. I know how these guys are thinking, and that's how you can present various numbers and this and that. They don't care about it. But if they hear that some other company, example, we were able to sell Kubeflow to to our management, saying like, hey, BMW is using it. That's it, like,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So
No, very, very fair point, and thank you, Milos, for all the help here.
Yeah, we are hopeful that sometime, once we have the UI especially out there, Milos, we can capture some of these public testimonials from the Kubeflow perspective. But I think that's been in my opinion, that's been the so far, the sticking point, right, so to speak.
yeah, you're totally right. Like UI
Yeah.
is very important.
So that's I'm hoping, and from Red Hat perspective, we have few, but we are working on some testimonials, but that's yet to come. People needs to fully vet through before they can do that. So we may require some more time on that side of it. Dheeraj, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Josh is on the call, right? So couple of questions, right? Milos, you were, saying that, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like you were saying PepsiCo was looking for testimonials. Would, Kubeflow testimonials that, maybe Josh or others in Kubeflow can provide help?
No, I just want to say that, like, I think that on Kubeflow community call, we're talking about like adopters and how to share, like in general, like Kubeflow to other companies. So I said that for like non-IT companies, example as PepsiCo is, right? It's more like the argument for switching to something was more like saying, hey, the others are using that, like some other big companies are using it. That was like more powerful than to explain the details about MLOps and or model registry, this and that, like that kind of stuff. And that I'm telling this from perspective of Kubeflow model registry, that of course, like the goal is to have like adoption. We have other companies starting to use it. And because they can use, example, currently in PepsiCo, what is like the official policies? We're using Kubeflow, let's say for pipelines, we're using case, etc. But for model registry, we're using Azure model registry. And there are problems with that. And hopefully I'm planning to make it official to switch to Kubeflow model registry. But I want to say that as Matteo mentioned, and I said regarding documentation, one thing to think about is also to if you're able to create some kind of use cases or blog posts describing like model registry or some company that started using it, that's very useful for future adoption by other companies. So that's what I wanted to say.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think we understand that. The other thing I was wondering about is, whether it's, Josh or others within Kubeflow can help us. If we could maybe reach out, this kind of gave me an idea. We could maybe reach out to other existing Kubeflow customers, companies that are using this and ask about, interest in adopting model registry, not, so much just, asking them that, offering specific help, right? If they're running into issues or things like that, maybe, some kind of like community outreach, right? Instead of waiting for users to come to us, maybe we can, flip it around and try and reach out to, big enterprises that might be using Kubeflow and see if they would be interested in getting some help to try out model registry. What do you guys think?
I think it's good, Dheeraj, but as I was saying, I think most companies probably, at least the way I'm thinking, I think is probably will stop at the UI requirement, right? I mean, unless you guys see that.
Yeah,
that's
obviously. Yeah.
right. If that's not a real requirement, then that may be, yeah, that would be, yeah, that would be another one we need to think. Yeah.
Just an
Oh,
idea.
no, I think it's a very good point, and maybe just to summarize here between the UI work with the Kubeflow 1.10, this is something that maybe we can consider with 1.11 and forward, definitely. Very good points, both. Thank you. All right, so from UI, I don't think that we have any representative today on the call. The only thing, for instance, in the community, there is a thread on Slack, on CNCF Slack, that it's ongoing to make sure that the multiple tenancy design is respected by the UI interacting with the Kubeflow Model Registry deployment. So there is that. So I think unless I will hear any raised hands, I will move on briefly and swiftly to CSI. I think that we have Andrea and Alessio, both of us in the call today. I saw, Andrea, that you've entered an item. So if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Matteo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, because today I don't have too much voice, actually. But anyway, just try to give a quick update on the CSI stuff. As discussed offline in the CNCF Slack channel, thanks, Matteo and Alessio, for the discussion, especially Alessio to bring this, say, topic up and up to date. I proposed this pull request that aims to refactor how the CSI is actually managed. And hopefully, in this way, we are not keeping the CSI as a separate Go module, such that we don't have to deal with different models with respect to the Model Registry one, I mean the core one. And it is meant as a different, let's say, executable that simply ships the Model Registry itself, as it was before. So from the deliverables point of view, nothing changed. The only thing that changes is that we have just one single, let's say, module that we need to keep updated and manage. So I think this way, the overall management of the CSI should be much easier. And I'm not even expecting the dependable issue that we faced so far. So I think this is a good step forward in the CSI management. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all. If you have any questions, specific or.
No, I remember that we discussed about that one in the past in some past community call. So just to summarize, if I understand correctly, also for the purpose of everybody. So as you were saying, is like before we were having like a two kind of like project within a project. Now it's making the executable. Thank you, Alessio, also for testing these one in details and making sure that the images size is the one that we expect. So this hopefully brings less dependency burden on the maintenance of the code. All right. No, in general, I think it's very great, and thank you for having the pull request with the refactor. I saw that Alessio did that already look at it, and as mentioned, also the check for the images. Thanks a lot. This is much appreciated. For me as well, it's good to go, and we can definitely approve it and bring it in as part of this. Thank you both for your great contributions. And if anybody wants to sort of like add to it, the pull request is open. So they have a chance over the next few days to comment. Otherwise, I'm thinking that since this one, I prefer that more people have eyes on it. But in general, I think we can go ahead and go smoothly with that.
Yeah, any feedback is appreciated. So
awesome. Anything else about the CSI? Andrea, sorry, I forgot to check if there was other
I don't think so. I mean, I think that, from, as I said, from the deliverable point of view, nothing changed. So it's just mere implementation detail, let's say. So I don't think that we need anything else on this, at least right now.
All right. Thank you. Then there is this item for the K-server model registry integration. There is the proposal of the controller. We touched on this one last time, Alessio, and I think that we went sort of like into having it raised to the community, but then sort of like eventually moving on with the involving platform, just to ask for the controller point of view.
Yeah, thank you, Matteo. Yeah, as I said last meeting, we had 2 weeks time to check if someone wants to add some comments and feedback about the proposal. Seems that the time has passed. I will move on to talk with the release platform team and check if the requirements are correct, and we can move on to actually create the controller in Model Registry code base.
Yep. If that helps also, Alessio, this thread in Slack sort of like touches on this one, because the platform working group wanted to make sure that all controllers are just once in the Kubeflow main namespace. So you can, I think you can keep piggyback on this thread as well if you had some question for the platform team.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Alessio. All right, so there is that. Then just noted one more item here. We had a contribution from somebody from IBM, if I remember correctly, that also made sure that tested for us the images with the S390X systems. So if I think that I can find the PR more easily from here and here. All right, so S390X, so these the author here mentioned that he tested the image and it's working. Also with the download of the Proto C, so still doing the build in image. There should be a pull request open in draft. I shall find it here. All right, that is getting as a sort of like a work in progress for this one. So my call out today is to have people take a look at this on progress, because this eventually will allow us to have multi-arch image. We don't have, I think, the author with us today, but I thought about raising this one. And then for the MySQL update, actually, I've asked in the Kubeflow pipeline, I think that I can find easily the thread to remind the pipeline, and CF Slack thread to remind the pipeline team that we have a question over there about the MySQL image support, especially to decrease the numbers of CVEs. And these will sort of like be great things if we can bump it to one of the latest one. This is also because there is one pull request that we did from bumping the MySQL container image, also makes it a bit available for ARM systems, and actually found that there was a similar issue in MySQL in another working group. So from Kimonas, identified the solution. So there is there. So I would be keen in having the MySQL image updated. But before doing so, we really need some feedback from the pipeline working group. And I think that I've iterated through all the items from the agenda. Should please anybody raise their hand if they wanted to have some additional items? Ramesh.
Matteo, On the CVE issue, are they gonna help us with this, or I'm kind of confused where we are, how we are going to. Is this a issues on the MySQL image itself, or on I'm sorry, or on MLMD?
As far as I know, there are no sort of like big troubles with the MLMD. So let me just double check this one. Give me one moment, I can tell you. So if I go here to the issues, and there was like a CVE reports here. I think that the last things, the last from the last scanning, didn't have any critical or high, but it was this specific version of MySQL. So what we did in September is that I've raised to the Kubeflow pipeline working group, see that the version of MySQL is deriving from their examples that they have. If they could give some updates about it, and I'm still missing, I pinged them as well on Slack, and I know that also Julius is on the case. In general, there is not much that we can do here except just bumping the image. But I wanted to make sure that the pipeline team was somehow involved. I understand that this is our decision, but since we are reusing a lot of common components, I thought it's good to have the conversation going between working groups. This is what the Kubeflow community typically encourages us to do.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe a call out for everybody if people want to thumbs up. This is the discussion.
The next one is, I think we called out for a demo from the UI folks. Did we have any volunteers who came up?
We didn't have it last time, last bi-weekly, but we can maybe follow up because I know that they are kind of like trying to wire the things together. So my suggestion here would be to say, let's see how that evolves, because then we can ask them, hey, as soon as that is wrapped up, if you can demo it in this bi-weekly meeting, would be important.
Okay. I guess the next meeting would be on 23rd. Do you want to keep that, or?
Actually, I was thinking yes, because I think that I will be, well, at least I'm planning on work on the 23rd. The thing that I will not be able myself to do it will be on January the 6th.
Yeah.
Because I will still wait. So up to you if you want to.
I can run January 6th maybe. Yeah, let's at least we need to cancel one of them. Looks like right. Yeah, let's cancel the 6th one and probably do the 23rd then.
Yeah, so that we can wrap up just before the holidays. Next bi-weekly 23rd December. Maybe we'll cancel January 6th. Let's highlight it so that people can see it. There we go. Now maybe I highlight it in yellow so that people can find it more easily. All right. Okay. Any other item, Ramesh?
No, thank you, Matthew.
Okay. Did anybody else had any other item that they wanted to add to the agenda? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. We will see everybody at tomorrow's the community call, or in 2 weeks for the December 23rd Kubeflow Model Registry bi-weekly meeting. Thank you so much for all the updates, participation, and contribution. Have a great evening. Bye.
Thank you, Matteo. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.